Yo guys, what's up? And I'm back with another storytime video, and this time I had an idea to make a series out of all my storytime videos. So what I'm planning to do is basically talk about every single one of my high school classes, starting from my first class ever as a freshman all the way to my last class as a senior. And I'm going to be talking about all the random and funny moments, as well as talk about like the class in general. So that's probably what I'm going to be doing, as well as probably like other stuff in there. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So this was my first ever high school class, so it would dictate almost the whole vibe of the next 4 years. And looking back, I think it's like fairly accurate. On the first day when I got my schedule, I was looking at my first period and it said it was in the O building, so like let's go to the O building. But I realized it wasn't close to like any of the majority of the classrooms, as like I was walking around, and I couldn't find it. And me being a little freshman, I got scared of being late to class and worried and everything. And I was pretty shy, but like I knew I had to ask like a teacher for like help and directions, so I mustered up some of that courage and I asked, like, I don't know where O9 is, can you help me out? And she pointed me in the direction and gave me like some like walk up this and here and that, but like I was a little dumb and I didn't understand with it, but I just said, oh yeah, I got it, thank you. So I was like, oh shoot. So I just followed the way she pointed and I understood something about a ramp, and I was like, well, I only see this ramp. So I went up that ramp and I saw like the label of the O building, right? It says O on the side of the building. So I found it. I was like, oh shoot, let's go. And since the class was labeled O9, I was like, okay, I was looking for O9. And when I first got up the ramp and I'm looking overhead, it's like O5 or something, and it goes up O6, O7. So I'm like, the logical thing, if it goes up, I'm gonna see what the highest number is. And I saw it was like O14, and I was like, okay, so the numbers must go all the way to O14. But what was weird is they jumped from like literally O9 to O14. But I think like I think it was like in reverse or something. Like it went from like higher numbers to the left and then bigger numbers to the right. So it didn't make sense when I was seeing O10 like closest to me or something, and like O14. So I was like, you know what? If it starts at O14 and O10, it's probably not there, because it wasn't. Or whatever it was, I don't know, because right before 10 would be 9, but it was like some weird. I saw it was O14, I was like, no, it's not there, because I was looking at it, it was like O5, 6, 7, and then I like, from that distance I couldn't really see, but I saw O14 because the door was open. I was like, well, there's like 3 classes there, so it's probably not there, so I went around like the whole building, because there was like a whole other section of O buildings, and this was like the STEM classes and like auto shop. And I was like O2, O4 or whatever, and I was like, dude, this is not it. I was like, what the hell? So I went back and I was like, okay, maybe I should check really good. So I walked up the whole thing, and literally it went from O9 to O14 like right next to each other, and I was like, that's freaking dumb. I wasted all my time, and I could have just walked in there like that. Like, that was so dumb. So freaking first day, I was already lost first period like a normal freshman. When I got in the class, it seemed normal. Like, I think there was like in the projector where it was telling you where the assigned seats are, like based on last name, pretty normal. And I got sat with this one kid. He was also a little weird, but like not that weird. He was like a normal kid, and his name was Brandon. And I could probably have a whole story time about him, because I sat next to him like the whole year, and it was pretty normal. But like I said, there was just some weird there. So I'm probably gonna save all that for another video, just specifically talking about him, because I want to talk about what the vibe of the class was, because it was a pretty nice class. The teacher was named Mr. Powers, and he was pretty lit. He used to be like a baseball coach, and I think we all know that if your teacher was a coach, he or she is pretty laid back. My man was just a good fit for such an easy class. I was dumb in middle school, so I ended up getting placed in like Math 1 and not Math 2 honors, so rip to me. But that class was literally the easiest I've ever had. Basic worksheets, topics stuck in my brain so easily, in the test, oh my, don't even start on the test, bro. I would either get 95s or aboves, bro. I got some 100%. Like, it was literally that easy. So if he finished early with the lecture, which most of the time he did, he would just pass out the homework sheet and he would let you do it. Or if you didn't want to, you'd just say fuck it and go on your phone. And but I most of the time did finish it because it was like really easy. And Mr. Powers also liked to play music, like during this time when like more like independent work, and now he's like lecturing. And music was alright. It reminds me of like those like chill beats to study to that you find on YouTube, that you look up. And sometimes you put country or whatever. But one time he put freaking my boy Logic, he put one of his songs, and I was like, yo, he put Logic? That's my boy. That's like all I listened to back then. And then I remember lifting up my head like, yo, he likes Logic. Like I was like, yo, like I was looking around to see if anyone like realized, and like people were like, oh, that's pretty sick, you know. But of course it was just me, you know, that overreacted or whatever. And there was this like one senior who I guess failed his first semester that was like there. He sat like a couple seats to like my side or whatever, and he was like, yo, Mr. Powers, like you got a good taste in music. Freaking Mr. Powers so humble. He was like, thanks. I was like, god damn, bro. But he never really put Logic that much. I think it's just because in case like the principal came in. But and I'm trying to think about what song it was he put in specific, and it was one of like his older songs, not like any like Under Pressure stuff. But I'm thinking it was either like Man of the Year or like 5 a.m. Like I don't know. I'm leaning more towards 5 a.m. But it was like pretty. It was a pretty nice song, and like that was such a lit vibe in that class. Like it was always so laid back. It was so easy. Like it was so hard. Like I don't know how you could fail. You literally would only fail if you just didn't do your work. Like in all classes, it's so hard to fail in that class. But like moving on to like the classmates, the people in there, I mostly really only talked to like the people like close to me, you know, like in front of me, behind me, to my side and stuff. And funny thing is, like this one kid, he sat in front of me. He would always be playing Clash Royale in class, like whether the teacher was talking or during that independent time that I mentioned, he was always playing Clash Royale. And like Powers is like pretty chill, he's pretty laid back like I said, but like he sat like in the freaking front, bro, so he can see like whatever the hell he's doing because he sits right there. He's the first row. And like Mr. Powers would get annoyed and just take it away or just give him warnings and stuff like that, you know. And like, or if he took it away, it was like until like it was independent time or whatever. But I mean, like always, bro, he would like Mr. Powers would turn around and this kid would go back on the phone, dude. It was freaking dumb, dude. And with that kid, there was also some like crazy drama with him. Like I think it was sophomore or junior year, but that's like a whole completely different story for another day. But just know it was crazy, and I probably will also make a story time just about that later on, but I don't know when that will come because I don't remember exactly when it is. But you know, look out for that one. It's a pretty, people that went to the school, like they know about it. It's like, I don't know, it's pretty funny. And then I also knew this other guy, and this guy, he was also like pretty smart like me. Like I don't know how, it was like pretty easy. He would always get good grades and stuff too. And I swear to God, this guy was in like all my, I feel like he was at least one of my classes every year. It felt like that at least. You know, I would also talk to that kid a lot because me, him, and like Brandon kind of like became like a friend group in that class or whatever. Especially when it came to like group work, like reviews. He would like have us walk around and like solve like stuff around the room in groups and stuff. So he would be in there. And since I would see him just about like every day, and like I knew he was in my chem class the next year, but I can't really say the same for like junior and senior year. I think I think he was in my senior year class, but I can't remember junior year. But like I said, I've always had him in a class, and he's always been pretty chill, like pretty damn chill. And just, I don't know, something about him, just he was so chiller than me, bro. And I was like pretty damn chill the whole time. It was crazy. And like we were pretty damn smart, bro. When we were in chem, bro, we destroyed that class. But again, chem, that's until next year, bro. That's until like 6 more videos at least, because I had 6 classes per year. And like apart from that, there was nobody I really talked to. Like there was people that I did talk to, but that was like very little, and like nothing really interesting happened with them. Like the class was funny. Like there was some funny people there. Like there was always this one guy that would be late. Always this one guy, you know, telling jokes, you know, all the normal stereotypes, I guess. You know, the usual smart people and nerdy people. I remember there's this one kid that would like work out, and we had like a party, and he didn't eat any of the food because he said it wasn't his cheat day. I thought that was pretty damn funny, but I mean, I respect the grind for that, you know. But I think he was at least just 1 year older. He was just 1 year older, but he looked like a senior, bro, honestly. And then of course there was that one senior, and I think he only failed the first semester because when it came to second semester, I didn't like see him again, or unless he like switched to another teacher, which I'm pretty sure there was more than one Math 1 teacher. There's like quite a few, so I don't know what happened. Probably it was just first semester that he failed, you know. So props to him, you know, for finishing that up, because he probably needed that to graduate, and you kind of want to graduate, you know. But yeah, like it was all like just such an easy class. That's like the main thing I remember, just how easy the class was. I honestly really enjoyed the class. The easy work, laid back teacher, and like every time a test was coming up, like the day before, we would have like these fun review games. Those are pretty damn fun because, you know, you get put in teams or whatever, and it gets kind of competitive. You know, people like talking smack, even though they don't know shit. You know, it's funny. It's funny. Like, one of the games was like up on the board. It was like one of those like reveal like a tile or something, and it pulls up a problem, and like everybody at the board has to like solve it. I think whoever solves it first or something gets a point, or I think the person that picked it, if they get it right, they get it right, and everyone can do it, and they have a chance to like steal or something. I don't know, but it gets pretty fun because, you know, you get like a harder one, and everyone's like, oh, and you know, when that smart kid goes up, they're like, oh, everyone's so fucked. Or when that dumb kid comes up, they're like, oh, we're so fucked. Like, their team is so fucked. It was funny. It was honestly just really fun. Like, I don't know, but like the crazy thing is, like, that class was so easy to me, and I think back, like, this was literally basically just like 8th grade, like 7th and 8th grade, I think. And like, how could I have been so retarded back then, and like now, or that year, I was like breezing through it? Was it just I didn't pay attention or something? Which I think it would probably have to do with that. But like that much, like I don't remember, like I didn't remember anything in middle school, and like it felt like I was learning it for the first time, but it didn't, because everything just felt so easy. And not back then. Like, I always tell myself I was low-key kind of dumb when it came to elementary and middle school. It wasn't until high school when I realized I was actually a little bit smarter, and I tried a little bit harder in my classes. But you know, being in math 1, it sets you up to like probably not have like the highest level of math at the end of the 4 years if you took 4 years math. Like, if you were like smart or whatever in middle school and you got put into math 2 honors, it's not called that, but that's basically what it is. You know, you go to math 2 honors, then you go to pre-calculus honors most likely, then you take calculus, and then you take another calculus class, and if you pass, like, those, calculus was an AP class, you know, and you guys know what AP classes are, right? It's a college level course. You like study for it all year or whatever, and at the end of the year you take your AP test, which if you pass it, you most likely get credits for college, so you don't have to take that class again in college. You know, there's a whole, if you don't know about that, then you'll learn soon enough. You know, so if you ended up passing both of those, you know, you didn't have to take calculus 1 anymore, because both of them were just calculus 1 but divided up into 2 years since we're in high school or whatever, you know. But yeah, like, if you got into math 2, that set you up really nicely to be like really ahead in math. But if you got math 1, it was like just slightly harder. Like, I still got through it. I got to calculus. I didn't even end up passing the test, but that's fine. I got senioritis. It's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm going to freaking community college anyways. And yeah, so like, not passing the AP test, not a big deal really, honestly, right? But you know, anyways, moving on. So like I mentioned earlier, like, it was like kind of difficult to find the class, and I think I mentioned that it was like really far away from like the entrance, and like at the like very corner of the, I was about to say map, like this is fucking COD, but at the very end of the school. And the teacher, since he was like really chill, Mr. Powers, he understood that, and he basically set a rule like, you know, I don't really care if you're late, you know, just don't make it a habit, and like we won't have like any problems or whatever. Like, I understand that like my class is super far away, you know, for the most part, you know, everybody was like there like on time, or maybe you're like a minute late every once in a while, but you know, there was always this one kid that was late. But I mean, really, it didn't really matter. He didn't care too much, because like technically in the school, if you're late to first period, the teacher's supposed to give you like a detention or whatever. But he didn't really care, because like I said, he didn't do that. He said he wasn't going to do that because he knows it's far. And like, I was late a couple of times, but like I was chilling because I knew like he wasn't going to do anything. And even then I was only late by like a few minutes, so it was just fine. It was all fine. But that just about does it for my first video in this makeshift series, even the All Story Time Server series. So this is a sub-series. I just wanted to take you guys on my high school journey and show you how boring, lit, normal it could be. You know, I got some funny stuff in there, draw these memories. If this kind of idea doesn't stick, well, it doesn't really matter, as I can just go back to focusing on like specific stories that I remember. It just depends on me remembering them, right? But definitely let me know if you guys want next video to be about like Brandon, if I mentioned earlier, or just like my second period of class, which I think has a little bit more interesting stuff if I remember correctly, but I'll have to double check on that. Or if you guys just literally want to see anything else, maybe like any other background gameplay or another type of video, maybe, you know, definitely let me know. I'm always obviously open to suggestions. Don't really know what to do all this time. Also, I want you guys to comment down below if you guys have heard the new Logic album, it's been out for a little bit of time as of me recording, but like I think it's a pretty good album for a closer. Like it wasn't as bad as like his last albums, like Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, I think it was, and like I don't know, Young Sinatra 4. I didn't really enjoy those, but it was pretty damn good. So I want to hear what you guys think of it, because I'm a pretty big Logic fan, and it's kind of sucks seeing him retire, but as long as he's not putting out bad music, I guess I'm cool with it. And funny story, this is like the second time recording this little segment, this little bit, because as I was editing at first, I noticed that at some point in the recording it was all just flat, like there was no audio to it, and it was because like someone walked in and I muted myself to talk to him, but I guess I just forgot to unmute myself and I continued with the story of the recording, and I didn't realize it until editing, when I was like, you know, going through and making the cuts, and then I realized that and I was like, oh my god. So it hit me hard. I was like, I don't want to record or edit and for like today at least, and then I just never even got to it until like now, which is like a week later. So yeah, like this video is like 2 weeks late, but it's fine. But yeah, that just about does it for this video. I'm wrapping it up here right now. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.